Hello everyone, today is 8th of May, now it's 10 to 9 in the morning Moscow time. I'm Levan Gudadze and this is my first update for the day in which I will share all the main news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets and Russian language pages on different internet platforms. And there are quite a few very significant developments and news that I'd like to share with you for this moment. And because there was no reports about some crucial decisive changes on the line of contact, I will skip them up. And we'll start with the media reporting straight away. And first of all, RIA Novosti's report that Russian armed forces during the previous night conducted large-scale missile and drone strikes on military and logistics infrastructure of the Kiev regime. And on my Telegram page, I reported about it this morning. So according to reports, last night, the Russian armed forces launched missile and drone strikes on the military and logistics infrastructure of the Zelensky's regime in Kiev, Kharkiv, Zaporozhye, Ivano-Frankovsk, Lvov, and number of other regions. So it was a quite large-scale missile and drone strike, maybe not the biggest one, but significant. And we have Lenterus report that as a result of these strikes, main target of which was, according to reports, energo infrastructure of the Zelensky's regime primarily, although definitely military and logistics targets and energo facilities definitely are double use facilities. It's seen like it by Russian side, that's why they are targeted. And we have Lenterus report here that Russian armed forces last night conducted strike on the airfield in the Lvov region of western Ukraine, where Ukrainian armed forces or Kiev regime's military formations were planning to concentrate F-16 fighter bombers that they are expecting to receive from the West or from the NATO countries. According to local underground or pro-Russian underground or partisans, there was at least 3 strikes on that airfield in the city of Stary in the Lvov region, and there was multiple detonations after the strikes, secondary detonations, and the airfield basically is in fire still now until this morning. So I guess some significant damage was done to that airfield. And I mentioned several times before that if Soviet era fighter jets, fighter bombers are quite agile, they can take off from basically anywhere, unprepared fields, roads, just about anywhere. Then Western fighter jets, fighter bombers are very different in that regard. They need a proper airfield. They are very demanding when it comes to maintenance, and therefore I guess Kiev regime was preparing this airfield, and well, it will be able no longer to receive F-16s. Also, by the way, yesterday late evening or yesterday night, Kiev regime also conducted strike with the long-range missiles, ATACMS, according to reports, in Lugansk region, and oil depot was hit in Lugansk. I shared video about from that area yesterday on my telegrams. For now, we know that during that attack, five local staff of that oil depot were injured as a result of this strike. Vzglyad newspaper is reporting that Russian sent group of forces during the previous 24 hours neutralized about 400 military personnel of Kiev regime, dozens of military equipment, including additional or another M1A1 US-made Abrams tank. I shared on my Telegram video of destruction of that Abrams tank. Also, all the other groups of forces, by the way, are also very active. And yesterday I also shared on my Telegram video of destruction of Leopard 2A4 tank, for example. So even though on the ground there might be no crucial changes right now on line of contact when it comes to which side controls what. But military operations are still very, very active, and of course, initiative is in Russian hands. And constant Russian local-scale offensive operations are underway. Vzglyad newspaper is reporting that Kiev regime start deploying additional reinforcement in direction of Chisov Yar. We already heard in previous days and weeks reports, similar reports, that Kiev regime is deploying more and more forces, reserves towards Chisov Yar, and now once again this information, concentration of Kiev regime forces inside the city of Chisov Yar and in surrounding areas must be immense, and therefore, as I was saying before, and let me zoom in on Chisov Yar on the map. So as I was saying before, by the way, this is Chisov Yar. Probably Russian forces will continue increase pressure on Chisov Yar, will continue operations on the flanks of the Chisov Yar, and simultaneously we will probably see even further increase of Russian long-range strikes on the points of concentration of Kiev regime forces, not just in Canal district of the city, but in the main part of the city, in the central part of the city also. And once Kiev regime forces will be basically level to the ground, and once Kiev regime forces will lose battle capabilities, only then most likely we will see Russian ground operation inside the Chisov Yar. It does make sense because once again, concentration of Kiev regime forces in the city and the surrounding areas that's still controlled by Kiev regime must be immense, and therefore right now ground offensive inside the city will be immensely difficult. Of course, it does make sense to, on this stage, pound positions of Kiev regime forces with long-range missiles, long-range artillery drones, and after week 2, 3, 4, whatever time it will take, once local garrison is no longer capable of putting up a real fight, then probably it will be appropriate to conduct round operation and basically give local garrison ultimatum to lay down arms and surrender or face the consequences. And that's how it's gonna happen. I know many channels are reporting that Russian forces will start operations inside the city now, tomorrow, day after. According to some channels, Russian forces already supposed to be in the Chisov Yar. I was skeptical of that view of the situation for reasons that I just explained, and I'm still maintain my position. It does make all the sense to neutralize Kiev regime forces with the long-range means on this stage, and when you have intelligence that majority of the units in Chisov Yar in surrounding areas are no longer capable of their high-intensity battle, then give them ultimatum. If they will make right decision and lay down arms and surrender, okay. If not, then they will face consequences. That's how it's gonna be. And this way, Russian forces will, of course, minimize casualty among Russian military personnel, of course, which is priority. So let's continue, dear friends. Well, this morning, while I was preparing program, I was listening to Kim Iverson's show, and she mentioned that, of course, many of you are familiar, I believe, with Kim Iverson. She does great journalism, by the way, great, absolutely, and I definitely recommend to subscribe to her channel. I believe under this video in description box, in recommendation list that I have, there is a link to Kim Iverson's channel also. Well, I was listening to her show, and she mentioned about post on X or Twitter from Chris Pavlovsky, CEO of Rumble, And well, according to this individual, Chris Pavlovsky, Rumble have officially been blocked in Russia. I can read the post that he published. So Russia has officially blocked Rumble because we refuse to comply with their censorship demands. Ironically, YouTube is still operating in Russia, and everyone needs to ask what Russian demands Google and YouTube are complying with. Legit question, by the way. Legit question. First of all, although in this program, by the way, Kim Iverson also questioned if this information is correct, and I'm also questioning it because I am in Russia. I'm constantly in the monitoring media outlets, and I did not see anywhere report about blocking Rumble. Although many of you know that I was mentioning for a couple of weeks now about some technical issues with Rumble, because without using VPN I'm just unable to upload video, and that's why every day my videos on YouTube appear earlier, significantly earlier than on Rumble, because with VPN it takes quite a long time to upload video on Rumble. And I don't really know what is going on. If Russia really blocked Rumble, that's a sad news, and I definitely don't support that kind of actions. I was always quite clear that banning or blocking platforms are not the way forward. It only highlights weakness, and therefore it is better to compete on these platforms, especially when you are on the right side of history, and all you need to do is to share truth with the public. Well, therefore, if we will see confirmation of the information, I will conduct research, by the way, today on this issue. I will try to find if there is any information anywhere in Russian segment of internet and about blocking of the Rumble. But maybe this is not Russia that blocking Rumble. Maybe Rumble itself is conducting some, I don't know, man, some sort of campaign. I don't know what the hell is going on, because in second part of his comment, CEO of Rumble mentioning that YouTube is not blocked in Russia, which is correct. YouTube demonetized. YouTube is not monetizing Russian channels. That's why my channel on YouTube is not monetized and will never be monetized. But YouTube itself is valuable. There was discussions in different levels here in Russia about blocking YouTube, but it did not happen. So, and YouTube is full of anti-Russian propaganda, by the way, full of anti-Russian propaganda, and therefore I see no logical reason why would Russia block Rumble, much smaller platform compared to YouTube, while YouTube is fully operational. So it is a strange situation. We need to learn some more, but at least we have official statement from CEO of the Rumble that they have been blocked in Russia, and they have been blocked in a number of other countries also, by the way. Yet again, I'm questioning this particular information about Rumble being blocked in Russia, but we all know that Rumble is blocked in France, in Australia, if I'm not mistaken, in number of other countries. So Rumble is definitely under pressure, but still in Russia YouTube is operational, and YouTube is full of anti-Russian propaganda. Every single day, by the way, I'm seeing on a YouTube as main page some videos from anti-Russian bloggers or pro-Ukrainian bloggers or whoever they are, with some crazy headlines, by the way, with some totally crazy headlines. Like it was yesterday or day before, I saw a video that Russia lost some 30,000 troops to take some village somewhere, and I was thinking, I didn't even open that video because I mean it's just total nonsense, I mean crap. And you know how many views that video had? Up to 100,000. And I was thinking, what the hell, man? Who are those people who watching this kind of crap? Or maybe those views are inflated, by the way. Maybe it's a fake numbers that YouTube is writing on under those videos. I don't know what the hell is going on. But yet again, YouTube is full of anti-Russian videos, anti-Russian propaganda. And Rumble, after all, Rumble did not block RT. Rumble did not block Russian channels. And therefore, I just don't see logic behind possible ban of Rumble in Russia from Russian government. I mean, I don't know, man. And Kim Iverson is also questioning motives or situation around this story on Rumble, because it really does make no sense, because I mean YouTube is operating, so why would you ban Rumble? I don't know, but I wanted to share with you this information. So I mean, probably we will learn some more in upcoming days. Anyways, let's continue. RT is reporting that well, 2 Ukrainian officials arrested over the alleged plot to kill Zelensky. Wow. This, I mean, this fantasies, by the way, of Kyiv regime has no boundaries. So let's go through this news anyways. 2 officers of the State Security Administration who were allegedly part of the conspiracy to assassinate top government and military officials were arrested on Tuesday. The Ukrainian Security Service, SBU, has announced. The agency, which is Kyiv's successor to the Soviet-era KGB, claimed in a post on Telegram that 2 suspects were planning to kill Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. SBU head Vasily Malyuk and the National Intelligence Chief, or head of Ukraine's main intelligence directorate of the Defense Ministry, Kirill Budanov, among others. The Strana news outlet in Ukraine has identified the detainees as the head of the State Security Administration, Andrei Guk, and his colleague Sornamed Derkach. Both are said to have been arrested simultaneously on Saturday. Okay. Well, I just don't believe this nonsense. They may have some internal confrontation there in the Kyiv regime. Maybe those arrested individuals were working for CIA or MI6, and Kyiv regime, Zelensky and his criminal associates are trying now to, you know, neutralize assets of the Western secret services, because if Russia wants to take down and they are, of course, they're gonna blame Russia that, you know, Russia is behind this, but if Russia wants to neutralize Zelensky, he will be vaporized like any day, any time. So therefore, it's a total nonsense whenever they are blaming Russia for attempting killing of Zelensky or any high-ranking official in Ukraine. It's total BS. I don't think anybody can believe in that kind of crap, but it is quite possible that some internal confrontation is taking place. Maybe those that were arrested were working for CIA or MI6, and Zelensky is trying now to protect himself and therefore neutralizing assets of the Western secret services. Maybe those people had their close ties with Zaluzhny, former head of Ukraine's general staff. And by the way, rumors are circulating in Ukraine and outside of Ukraine that Zaluzhny have been arrested because no one sees him for quite a while. And formally he was appointed as ambassador in United Kingdom, but where is he? Did he ever made any statement after being removed from the office? So some internal confrontation is taking place, and that's all about this story. Although of course they will blame Russia, man. They are blaming Russia for everything. If weather is too rainy, it's a Russian fault. If it's snow, by the way, it's Russian fault. If it's too sunny day, it's Russia's fault, of course, man. You know, everything that they don't like is Russia's fault. Crazy, man. Lentarus report that Kadyrov, by the way, head of Russian Chechen Republic, Chechen Autonomous Republic, made a statement yesterday during the or after inauguration of the Russian president that Russian armed forces should liberate Kharkov and Odessa as soon as possible, and he mentioned May, towards end of May. Well, very optimistic statement. If Kiev regime forces will collapse today or tomorrow totally on all the way on the line of contact, in that case, yes, it's possible that Russian forces will liberate Kharkov and Odessa before end of May. But for now, we don't really have yet fundamental indicators that Kiev regime forces are collapsing. On certain areas in Avdiivka direction, yes, but in Donetsk direction, they are close to collapse. But this is not entire front, and this is not all military capabilities that Kiev regime has, and therefore I see this statement of Kadyrov too optimistic. I would be, happy if Russian forces will liberate Kharkov and Odessa before end of May, of course. But it seems to me just too optimistic, man. But I would be happy if I'm wrong. That's for sure. But it is important to notice that high-ranking Russian official openly, by the way, is stating that Kharkov and Odessa will be liberated. Maybe not before end of this month, but will be liberated. That's a key point here. Whatever time it will take, and I have never doubted that from Kharkov to Odessa, entire area of historical Russia will rejoin Russia again. I was quite clear about it always. Only question I have, by the way, is about Kiev and surrounding areas, because I'm quite sure after this conflict will end, Ukraine will be divided. Western neighbors of Ukraine will claim their historical territories that used to belong to them before Second World War, or in case of Hungary, before First World War. And Russia will, of course, have a claim on its historical territory. And from Kharkov to Odessa, no questions, will be liberated. But I was wondering about, what will happen with Kiev and surrounding areas. Will it remain as a landlocked quasi-state on the political map? Will Moscow allow this to happen? Or Kiev and surrounding areas also will be liberated and rejoin Mother Russia? Let's see. Time will tell. But from Kharkov to Odessa, Kharkov, Dnipropetrovsk, Zaporozhye, Kherson, Nikolaev, Odessa, Sumy, Chernigov regions, by the way, all those regions definitely will be liberated by Russian forces. I have no doubts about it. Anyways, let's continue. And well, interesting news, by the way. I mentioned this in yesterday's live stream on my YouTube channel, that in Belarus military exercises have begun in troops that are operating with the carriers of the tactical nukes. And that means missile troops that have Iskander ballistic missiles in their inventory, and also aviation of the Belarus. And as I understand, the Belarusian Su-25s have been modernized to be capable of carrying tactical nuclear weapons. And if I remember correctly, there was reports that Ukrainian fighters, MiG-29s, will also be modernized to be carriers of the nuclear weapons. But in any ways, whatever carriers they have right now, they are under inspections, and their readiness have been checked by Belarusian authorities. And today, by the way, Lukashenko will have a talk with the Putin, president of Russian Federation, and during the conversation, one of the topics of discussion, according to Lukashenko himself, will be you know what, let me translate enter this sentence to be more precise. So President of Belarus Alexander Lukashenko said that on May 8 in Moscow he plans to discuss with Russian President Vladimir Putin the joint coordination and the use of troops using nuclear special munition during the verification and make a final decisions. So basically presidents of two countries will discuss coordination between their sides when and procedures, how nuclear weapons, tactical nuclear weapons that are deployed into Ukraine will be used. What is the sequence? So it is serious stuff. It is a serious stuff. I remind you that 2 days ago, President of Russian Federation issued an order for a southern military district to conduct drills with tactical nuclear weapons. Of course, no weapons gonna be used during these drills, but units will undergo training and exercises. Units that are operating with the tactical nuclear weapons, non-strategic nuclear weapons, as they being called in Russia. And in Belarus, there is exercises, and today presidents of Belarus and Russia will discuss this cooperation and the sequences, basically, of the deployment of Russian tactical nuclear weapons that are based in Belarus. Also, this is all signals, by the way. This is all messages for the leadership of the collective West. TASS news agencies report that Tusk, by the way, Prime Minister of Poland, made the statement that Polish judge that traveled to Belarus and then asked for asylum seeker. This happened in previous several days, by the way. This judge had access to classified information, according to Donald Tusk. So something big is happening, by the way. Not everyone paid huge attention initially to this story, although I see information about it that Polish judge went to Belarus and asked for asylum. And we are learning more and more about this situation. And now Prime Minister of Poland is commenting on this. And he is saying that this person had access to classified information. What classified information? Who knows? Although yesterday on one of their articles, I read there that this judge who ran to Belarus made a statement that he didn't disclose any classified information, and he was not asked to disclose any classified information. So that's also statements from opposite side. But something is serious is happening, man. And in upcoming days, I would not be surprised to learn that this judge was maybe, maybe he has some information that is too damaging for political establishment of the Poland, because Prime Minister is reacting. And there was a reaction of the Foreign Minister also on this information. This is something big, I guess. This is not the ordinary judge that ran away from Poland, I guess. Anyways, let's continue. Interfax is reporting that, US finished building up floating piers in Gaza, in the Gaza Strip. And probably deliveries of humanitarian aid will begin soon, or at least that's the reasoning why this pier was built officially. And the question is, will Israel allow humanitarian aid to be delivered to the Gaza Strip, especially now when Israeli forces, Israeli Defense Force, IDF, is conducting military operation in the southern Gaza, southern part of Gaza Strip, in Rafah city area. I don't know. But that's the information that we are receiving, and unfortunately, the situation is escalating more and more in the Gaza Strip. And as I said, IDF is conducting now military operation in Rafah. Basically, huge refugee camp at this point. Before this crisis, there was some 250,000 residents in Rafah, and now, according to many reports that I see, concentration of people in Rafah, Palestinians, are about 1.5 million. And that's why everyone is afraid that Israeli military operation may leave tens of thousands of killed civilians in that area. And civilians themselves are trapped because they have nowhere to go. Netanyahu's government is always operating with the terminology that there is a safe corridors and there is safe areas, but there is no safe areas in the Gaza Strip, and everyone knows that. Rafah is supposed to be safe place for refugees, but it's not. It's been bombarded by IDF. Vzlyad newspaper is reporting, by the way, that Austria has no plans to join NATO, at least for now. Okay, this was stated by head of Foreign Ministry of Austria, Alexander Schallenberg. And well, Austria is a part of anti-Russian coalition anyways, isn't it? It's like a Switzerland, by the way. Both these countries are playing neutrality, while no one sees them as a neutral no more. Austria imposed sanctions on Russia. Austrian weapons have been used against Russia. Same goes for Switzerland. Switzerland imposed sanctions on Russia. Swiss weapon systems or weapon systems with Swiss details have been used against Russia. So you know, who cares, man? If for us it does makes no difference at all if both these countries, man, Switzerland and Austria, will join NATO. They are anti-Russian. They are part of anti-Russian alliance anyways. That's why no one really cared here in Russia when Finland and Sweden joined NATO, because they were part of anti-Russian bloc anyways. So it was just a change in formulation of those countries. Before they were unofficially part of anti-Russian bloc. Now they are officially part of anti-Russian bloc. And if Austria and Switzerland will join NATO, same thing will happen. They are unofficially now anti-Russian states, parts of anti-Russian bloc, and when they will join NATO, if they will join NATO, it will become official. That's all different there is. So therefore, no one cares, man. Austrian foreign minister, do whatever you want to do. No one cares, man. You are part of NATO or not. You are anti-Russian anyways. So for us, it does make no sense at all. TASS news agency is reporting that Pashinyan, by the way, Prime Minister of Armenia, made statement that Armenia is ready to sign a peace agreement with Azerbaijan in November, this autumn, and well, according to him, sides well capable of preparing all the necessary documentations, ground basically for peace agreement to be signed between the sides. Well, Pashinyan is delusional, by the way. This individual is delusional. He clearly don't understand what the hell is going on. He's been strongly manipulated, and he is intellectually bankrupt, by the way. He is just not capable of analyzing situation on its own. He's just, you know, and therefore he makes this kind of stupid statements, man. Azerbaijan will sign nothing with Armenia because Azerbaijan wants land bridge to Nakhichevan, and Baku will not stop until it will get its land bridge to Nakhichevan. Simple as that. I said it so many times, I don't want to repeat myself, man. So This Pashinyan guy is crazy as hell, man. He destroy Armenia. He destroy lives of residents of Nagorno-Karabakh because of his crazy policies. He destroyed relationships between Armenia and Russia. What is he doing, man? I have no idea. I just don't know. RT is reporting that Chinese leader Xi Jinping marks 25th anniversary of the NATO atrocity. So President Xi Jinping of China arrived in Serbia on Tuesday, yesterday by the way, for a two-day visit, landing on the 25th anniversary of the deadly US strikes on the Chinese embassy in Belgrade. The strike, which came during the 1999 NATO air war in support of ethnic Albanian separatists in Kosovo, killed 3 Chinese nationals and injured 20 more. Beijing never fully accepted Washington's apology that strike had been a mistake caused by old maps. China should never forget their bombs that claimed the lives of Xiao Yunyan, Hu Hinhu, and Zhu Ying. Xi Jinping wrote an opinion piece published on Tuesday by Serbia's oldest newspaper, Politica. The Chinese people cherish peace, but we will never allow such a tragic history to repeat itself, the president added. Serbian MiG-29 fighter purchased from Russia several years ago to replace NATO-inflicted losses were scheduled to provide an honor guard to Xi Jinping's airplane as it entered the Serbian airspace. And well, when it comes to this bombing, by the way, first of all, entire military campaign of NATO against Yugoslavia and against Serbia was a war crime. It had no legal means, absolutely. And Yugoslavia was destroyed, by the way, by Western states intentionally because they were afraid. They were afraid, by the way. Yugoslavia had a huge potential. Yugoslavia, if it stayed together, had an immense potential. It would be bigger than Poland now. It would be a major competitor in economical terms for Germany and France. And that's why exactly Germany and France, especially Germany, was actively involved in destruction of Yugoslavia, although entire NATO were participating also, of course. And just look at the area, by the way. Croatia, from here, Croatia, Slovenia, Serbia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Montenegro, by the way, together. It's hard to see here on this map. I will open old map of Yugoslavia. So just look at this, by the way. That's Europe, European continental Europe. And that's the area, by the way, that Yugoslavia would be. Look how huge this country is, by the way, and potential it has. Potential it has is just immense. And of course, by the way, they knew it. Western so-called elites, they knew it, and they wanted to destroy Yugoslavia, and that's what they did. They provoke ethnic conflicts inside Yugoslavia, and then even that was not enough for them. Then they supported these separatist groups, terrorist groups in Kosovo, by the way. They were not separatist groups, they were terrorists and mass murderers, what we are talking about. And the leadership of those terrorist groups were officially, by the way, blamed in trading of human organs and stuff. So West was supporting terrorist mass murderers in Kosovo, and they even recognized Kosovo as a state. Majority of their collective West states, although not all of them. There are several states that didn't recognize Kosovo still in the West. But in any case, by the way, it was a crime against people of Yugoslavia, and after that, NATO, which is formally defensive organization, they love to operate with this terminology that NATO is defensive organization, not a threat for anybody. And they destroy Yugoslavia, by the way. They were bombing Serbia. They destroyed embassy of China also, by the way. They killed thousands and thousands of civilians in Serbia, and they also targeted the Chinese embassy, and it was just the beginning. NATO was involved in destruction of Libya. NATO was involved in destruction of Afghanistan, you name it, by the way. Syria, by the way. NATO was involved in every atrocity that collective West committed in last 30, 40 years, by the way. Since NATO was created, basically. And when it comes to this particular instance of bombing of Chinese embassy, by the way, I don't know if you heard that story, but I will share with you information that is circulating on internet that this was definitely not a mistake, this strike from US on the Chinese embassy, because according to rumors, by the way, according to information that is available on internet, few days prior to the strike on Chinese embassy, Serbian air defense shut down at the time top secret plane of the US F-117. It's a bomber, by the way. F designation is to people to get mistaken. Usually F designation is for fighters or fighter bombers, but this plane, you all are familiar with this this silhouette, of course. This plane is not fighter. It cannot conduct any air-to-air combat. It's a pure bomber, and this was the first fully operational stealth bomber in US Army, and a few days prior to bombing of the Chinese embassy, Serbian air defense shut down this plane. Supposed to be stealth plane, but this plane was tracked anyways and was shut down. And story says that parts of that plane were transferred to Chinese embassy. And that's why US conducted strikes on Chinese embassy. Maybe US was very too much that maybe parts of this plane will eventually end up in Chinese hands. Maybe parts of these planes really were delivered to Chinese embassy. Hard to tell. I was not there, obviously, but rumors are that that's why US conducted intentional strike on Chinese embassy. It was not mistake, it was intentional strike, act of war basically against China. And US was trying, according to these rumors, to prevent China to get its hands on latest for that moment military technologies in stealth aircraft building that US had. But anyways, it's a big deal, by the way. Chinese leader's visit in Europe. He will be in Serbia today also, and then he will visit Hungary. And as I said several times in my previous updates, I hope former Yugoslav republics, Montenegro, by the way, Chernogorия, Serbia, and also, by the way, Hungary, who is of course never been part of Yugoslavia, but as a neighbor of Serbia, hopefully they will cooperate with each other strongly, and also with the BRICS, and well, they will benefit hugely. And by the way, Croatia will join them. that will make this even bigger. That will benefit these countries even bigger. Although, of course, Montenegro has its access to the sea, so therefore there is a huge potential to these three countries, by the way, Montenegro, Serbia, and Hungary, to gain immense leverage in continental Europe by cooperating with the BRICS and cooperating with the BRICS economical programs, Chinese economical programs, for example, Belt and Road and so on. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal. I didn't really understand why Chinese leader went to France and spoke to Macron, why he spent time on talking to that clown, or to Ursula for that matter. But well, Serbia, Hungary, very different story, by the way, and I see huge potential there for cooperation between BRICS and these European states. And finally, oh, and this is gonna be final news, by the way. This is gonna be final news for today's update. Hopefully you will find this update interesting and informative, and if so, please click that like button and leave some commentary just about anything, any topic. This is the only way we can deal with the algorithm, by the way. There are anti-Russian channels on the YouTube. They will come up with some crazy stories, total garbage, but because they are anti-Russian, you know, algorithm is pushing those channels on YouTube in recommendations, and also I guess their algorithm is inflating numbers because I mean, still, as I mentioned, by the way, it was yesterday or the day before, this video with some crazy story, crazy numbers in headline that 4 battles for 1 village, Russia lost 30,000 military personnel. I mean, that was so crazy that I start questioning people that are watching that kind of videos, man. I mean, who are those people? Why you would ever click on a video with such a total nonsensical headline? But it has tens of thousands of views, by the way. That garbage. And when you are trying to share with public your own personal opinion, like I do, on different matters, and when you are sharing news that have been reported in the media, news that can be checked on other sources also, well, YouTube don't really likes that, and therefore, when you are not anti-Russian, and I am not anti-Russian, I am pro-Russian, algorithm don't really likes that, and therefore to reach wider audience, to get in recommendations, only way we have is likes and comments, and the sharings of the links to my videos and the channels. So yes, if you can, please help me with that. And finally, if you find this channel interesting, informative, useful, if you think this channel deserves to exist in this field of news and political commentary, please consider to support my work with small donations through PayPal, Boosty, or by subscribing to my Patreon page, on which, by the way, I'm trying to have extra content on regular basis. Unfortunately, yesterday and day before, I was unable to make extra videos for Patreon. I will try to record something today, and maybe I will upload tomorrow. Let's see. Today gonna be busy day also, and let's see how it goes. But in any ways, by the way, I have plenty of content on Patreon as an extra for our community there. So all the links are under this video in the description box and in the pinned comment. Have a great day and take care. Bye for now.